But which team would have won the 2016 team
I won't call him chubby anymore. What a set play.
or the 2018 Villanova team?
In this tournament tonight, the Nova Nation has another national championship.
Oh man, see that's a tough question, and the only reason I say it's a tough question was that 18 team, man, they was good, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's probably a top 5 NCAA team all time. But if we had to play one game, we could get them.
They're gonna check the clock if there's any time.
What's up, everyone? I'm Jonay Vacari, and today I'm here with NCAA legend Kris Jenkins, here to talk hoops, history, and entertainment. Welcome to You Got Game.
Yeah, what's up? How you doing? You good?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I just worked out. I'm over here. You could probably see in the back. I'm over here at Nova.
Oh, you're at Villanova right now?
Yeah, I'm here right now.
That means, are you there a lot?
I am here a lot. I do a lot of working out and training here just because it's easier and they look out.
So what are we seeing from the Villanova team this year?
I mean, we had a lot of injuries at the start of the season, so that kind of set us back. But I think they got a big-time win last night at Xavier. So hopefully we can take that momentum right into the Big East tournament coming up down here and then make a run in that and then hopefully get into the NCAAs.
I know that a lot of people were talking about Cam Whitmore, I think.
He's a
freshman, right? A lot of people were talking about him coming in, but then he got injured, I think.
Yeah, he started out the season. He hurt his hand to start out the season. So that was kind of tough.
Okay, so you're at Villanova right now, but I saw something last year about you. It was like, wow, Kris Jenkins is from South Carolina. And so I was just like, people need to know more about Kris Jenkins. That's why I had the idea to interview you. So what is Kris Jenkins up to right now? Like just right now, like where are you?
That's awesome. So currently right now, I've been training, getting myself ready to go back and play basketball. So within the next week and a half or so, I'll be leaving to go to Venezuela, country of Venezuela, to play basketball, to pursue my dreams there. So that's all Kris Jenkins been doing, just working out, staying out of the limelight, rooting on his teammates that's in the NBA. But more importantly, man, just making sure I give off good, positive energy. And, you know, because I believe that'll come back to me. So just trying to do what I can.
My mom says hello. Of course, she texted, "Are you guys on?" Yes.
So
we aren't going to talk all about March Madness yet, but we are going to talk about what it's like to be forever indebted into NCAA history for you.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't look at it like that. I think when I get a little older and, you know, probably stop traveling as much and playing basketball and things of that nature, I have time to sit and think. It'll probably hit me then. But, you know, I was just appreciative. You know, I started playing basketball when I was young. I got the work ethic and the love and the drive of the game from my mom when I was a kid. And then it kind of just stuck with me. And I just took all of that hard work and that knowledge and just took it to every step where I went: middle school, high school, college, and now professionally. And it's been cool for me so far. But that was a pretty cool shot. I'm pretty sure everyone else talks about it a lot more than I do. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's all good. It's what you work hard for so that you can be ready in big time moments like that. Because at the end of the day, it's just all about winning. And I'm just happy that we won.
Right. So when you talk about work ethic, in high school, when you started to see offers come up and stuff, what's that like to kind of just see that pay off?
Honestly, at first it's kind of like I don't know what's going on. Like, it's just kind of real because it can be a lot at times. But it definitely just shows that, you know, when you work hard and you have a goal set out. Because I had that goal set out since I was a kid. You know, I kind of knew that I had to kind of make my own way if I wanted to go to college, as far as like being able to pay for it and afford it and stuff, because it costs a lot. So to be able to earn a full athletic scholarship to take care of each and every year, to have everything taken care of, no student debt, no student loans, anything like that. Um, I mean, it definitely, I appreciated it. I appreciated the grind, the hard work, the sleepless nights and things like that. It was definitely worth it.
So what do you feel like? Well, you're there right now. I feel like I know this answer now because you're at Villanova right now. But why did you choose Villanova?
I get that. I definitely get that question a lot. I chose Villanova just because I like the people.
Mm-hmm.
I love my teammates, the guys that when I came on my recruiting visit, the guys that I was around. The coaching staff had a vision and a plan for me that I accepted, challenges that I wanted, and I knew that if I took care of everything that I needed to basketball wise, wherever I went, I would be cool. So I just wanted to make sure that I went to a university where I could attend a university if basketball was out the picture. And I feel like Villanova was that spot for
So Jay Wright, he retired this past
me.
season. And so you talk about choosing Villanova, the coaching staff, what they said to you. What do you think is the most memorable thing Coach Wright has done or said?
Wow. See, it's so crazy because when you play for a Hall of Fame coach, there's just so many moments, so many memories that you have. But I think if it's just one thing that I'll always take that I learned from Coach Wright, I will probably have to say it's the staple of our program here, and it's the word attitude. And he always just used to tell us, like, look, man, like you can never control a lot of the things that are going around you or what happen, things like that, but you can always control how you respond and your attitude towards each and every situation. And it's kind of something that I try to live in my life because, you know, everything isn't always going to be sunshine and roses. You're going to have some hard times, and you got to be able to have a positive attitude because um, everybody can be up and be happy and go lucky when things are going good, but you really find out about people and yourself when things don't go your way. How your attitude is, how you still treat people, and how you carry yourself. And I try to always make sure that I keep that in the back of my mind.
Mhm. So I was also looking at a Sports Illustrated one. This is kind of a fun question for you, I think. And it was an interview with Coach Wright with Sports Illustrated. It was back in 2020 during COVID, because that was like a reflection year, I think, for everybody since COVID hit.
Right.
And they asked him which team would have won, the 2016 team or the 2018 team?
Oh man, see that's a tough question, and the only reason I say it's a tough question was that 18 team, man, they was good, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's probably a top 5 NCAA team all time. But if we had to play one game, we could get them, but obviously we couldn't beat them if they played like they played during the tournament, right? Because
Right.
like they beat everybody by double digits, like so. I don't think we would have been any different. But I think obviously if it's just like a normal game, I feel like we would have had a chance just because of how tough we were. And we were good at taking away what a team was great at. And that's what made that 18 team so tough is because they were pretty good at a bunch of things. So they probably more talented than us for sure. But in a one game scenario, we probably definitely could have won for sure. I feel like we could have beat them.
I think Coach Wright said that Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges would have differed with the answer, but I believe.
Nah, all the guys that was on 18, that was on both teams, be like, no, 18 would have won because they had bigger roles and
Right.
stuff like that on
That's
that
what
team.
I
So
said because
they
they
gonna
were
say that, yeah.
okay. So, how much do you enjoy when it gets brought up? You look at the shot. How much do you enjoy talking about
I think what I enjoy most about it is the reaction that other people have to it.
it?
Kind of, I think that's kind of more so just me seeing the joy that they get from it is probably just all that I need because I lived it. I was in the moment, so I don't get too high. Try not to get too high. Try not to get too low. But to see the reaction that other people have, or when people say like, I watched that shot with my granddad, who was a big time Villanova fan, who
Mm-hmm.
passed away a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Like you get stories like that where you be like, dang. Like, this meant a lot more to you than it did kind of to me at the time.
They go length of the court with Archie Diacono. 3 seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship. The national champions with Jenkins hitting the winner.
So taking a look back, the Final Four versus Oklahoma, I think a lot of people overlooked that game, as they should, but a lot of people overlooked that game because y'all lost to them that same season by 23. So what was that like?
Man,
beating them.
All right, yeah. So you threw the lob on that one. So earlier in that year, we had played them in a big time game. It was like at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, like a nationally televised game. Villanova, Oklahoma. We playing Buddy Hill, so it was like a really, really big deal, man. You know, they beat us. They beat us good. It was just we had some new guys and new roles. Guys starting for the first time. Myself, Josh Hart. We had Jalen, who was a freshman, who was starting for the first time. So we had a lot of guys and a lot of new roles. And then when we met them the second time, we knew that they would come out with the attitude like we played these guys before and we beat them by 20. Like we just knew that that's the approach that they would take because it's human nature. So Coach Wright and them did a good job in reminding us like, yo, we're not that same team, but they're going to approach y'all that way. So it's up to y'all to go out and play like how we've been playing to get to this point in the Final Four thus far. So to definitely play them and beat them by a record margin in the Final Four, it definitely made us all feel good because they had beat us by 20. Like, they embarrassed us. I don't think I had been beat like that in college, like as a rotation player my whole career. Like, even looking back on it now, that was probably the worst loss I probably had in college. Like, that's just how embarrassing it was, or we felt like it was at that time. So for us to come back and get a win and to go to the championship, it definitely felt good for sure to smack.
When it mattered, y'all won when it mattered.
Right.
So talk about the game was in Pearl Harbor. Yeah.
When we play Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah. So for Villanova, being at a school like Villanova and traveling the way you do as a student athlete, what is it like being a student athlete there?
It's definitely a job for sure, being a student athlete, because you have to do everything that all the students have to do as far as maintaining the campus life, maintaining your life as an actual student, which is what, like, getting a good education, making sure you're up to date with your professors while you're still missing classes. Even if you're dealing with an injury, you have surgery, you miss those days of class, things like that, you still have to make all of that stuff up. It's not like it just goes away because you had something happen with basketball. So being a student athlete is definitely a full-time investment, a full-time job. You spend more time here on campus with your teammates than you do your family, than you do family breaks. Like, I can remember having to be back on campus the day before Christmas a couple years and actually on Christmas Day a couple years, like just having to be back to get ready for games coming up. So you miss out on a lot of time. So it's happy to see the name, image, and likeness stuff taking off so that guys can get paid, because it is a full-time job.
So you agree with NIL? That seems like a controversial thing for NCAA, but I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, in what other area of life are you allowed to generate as much money as college athletes do, which is billions of dollars, and they don't even give you that money in actual cash? They give it to you in books and dorms. Like, yeah, here, you can stay here and get these books that we give you. And it's like that math don't add up.
Yeah. So it's been exactly 10 days for what happened to your Eagles.
Oh,
I do want to talk about that because I know you are a big Eagles fan.
That hurt.
And we have to talk about it because I knew a lot of Eagles fans. And we just got to talk about it. Talk about the game, how it felt in the beginning. Tell me how it felt that first half.
See, the first half didn't feel as good because, one, playing the best whenever you're playing the best player in the league, you always know that there's a chance that they could show that they're the best player in the league and you lose.
Right.
And that's what happened. Like, we played keep away. We kept the ball away from them. Like, we were in the Super Bowl and played keep away, and it almost worked. It almost worked. It took a zebra stripe guy to he didn't end the game for us. He just put us in an impossible situation to win.
Right. So the second half, obviously thrown off by the refs, but you seem like you were going hard for the Chiefs. I think not the Chiefs, for the Eagles. I feel like everybody. There's not much. I told everybody because I was neutral. I root for every Georgia team, so I was like, nobody's in it, so I'm neutral. But I told everybody, I was like, when Patrick Mahomes is on the other side of the field, there's not much he can really do about that.
He's probably the best football player I ever seen. I just never seen nothing like him in football. Like even Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady individually wasn't as good as he was. And that's just a fact. Like Tom Brady with all the rings, like he got the hardware for sure.
Right.
Can't knock that. And at the end of the day, when you play a team sport, it is about winning. But there's a lot more that goes into that.
What was your reaction to Tom Brady retiring and retiring? Is he actually done this time?
I do think he's done this time. But when I kind of didn't like how it went the first time. So when he retired and unretired, I kind of felt like, okay, at least he'll get to do it his way, kind of.
Right.
Because that's kind of all you want for like all-time greats that you've seen growing up and stuff. You kind of just want them to go out on their terms, because so many times you see it in the other way. So to have him do it however it is that he wanted to do it, whatever that looked like for him, I was cool with it.
Right. So winning, you go to the White House, and I think that there's one thing to have a nickname that everybody may know you by, but there's a different thing to have Barack Obama, President Barack Obama. Just say it out loud. Big Smoove.
Kris Jenkins, a.k.a. Big Smoove.
So where did that nickname come from?
This is another question that I get all the time about the nickname Big Smoove. So I want to say maybe a little bit my sophomore year, but definitely my junior year. We had a TV commentator by the name of Gus Johnson. He does a lot of Fox stuff. He does baseball. He does NFL. He does college basketball. Gus Johnson, a big time commentator, man. He liked my game, and he had one of our games. He had a lot of our Big East games when we first started out in the new conference. He and Bill Rafferty. So I guess obviously I'm a bigger guard, and then I guess because he liked how my jump shot was, he thought it was smooth. So on TV one day, he just said Big Smoove, and it kind of just stuck. But when I would talk to him, he was like, "Yo, it's not spelled the normal way. It's spelled Smoove." I was like, so I'll make sure I'll let people know that that's how you want it spelled and pronounced.
Did that kind of throw you off when the president said it while you were just standing there?
Nah, it definitely threw me off and took me for a surprise. I wasn't expecting President Obama to know one of my basketball nicknames. That's pretty cool.
So there's one thing that I learned from this NBA trade deadline is that the Villanova brotherly bond is very strong, obviously.
Out of this world.
But we also saw some people get traded. We saw Josh Hart to New York, and we also saw Mikal to New York, but two different teams, the Nets and the Knicks. So what was that like for you to see Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson get reunited?
Nah, it was definitely – I was definitely happy for both of them because they're probably two of the best. They are the two best college teammates that I had. You know, 2 first-team All-Americans. Jalen got every Player of the Year award. Josh got endless Player of the Year awards and small forward. Like they both just had two unbelievable college careers. So to see them reunite in New York, the only bad thing about it was my boy Arch got traded in the deal from New York to Portland. So it would have been extremely cool to see all three of them there in New York, and then to have Mikal right over across in Brooklyn because he got traded in the KD trade. But it just shows that people in the NBA value Villanova guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that like Mikal Bridges was in a trade for Kevin Durant. Like a team didn't want the trade unless you were in it. Like that's what they thought of you.
Right.
Like so, and it was for Kevin Durant. Like I know it may be bummed out, but at the end of the day, it's Kevin Durant. Like I feel like a lot of us would have at least thought about it.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it, though. I didn't even think of it like he got traded for Kevin Durant. They needed.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
Like Brooklyn really gotta love you, bro. They got up for KD and you was part of that. So nah, I'm just happy for those guys. They living out their dreams in the NBA. To do it in New York City now, to have those guys in New York, which is obviously it's close to the Philly. They get to come back and check out the Cats.
Right.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're happy about being on the East Coast because I'm pretty sure, they was both on the West Coast majority. Yeah, Josh
Jalen
got
was
drafted.
too before he
Yeah,
went to New York.
all of them majority of them was on the West Coast, and then Sadiq got traded from Detroit to Atlanta.
Atlanta.
He in the A. So the Nova guys, man, they holding it down, man. They got value in the NBA, and it's only going to get higher.
So we talk about some of your teammates. So I'm about to start hitting you with some hard-hitting questions. You get stranded on an island, and you got to take one of your teammates with you. One of your Villanova teammates with you. One. Who are you going to bring with you?
Oh, man. That's a good question. I'm stranded on the island, and I got one Villanova teammate. Probably Josh, because Josh got that junkyard dog mentality. So I know if we out there stranded and we got to get to it, he one of the first ones that's gonna be down.
I like that answer. I do. So we got to talk about your favorite NBA team to watch right now. Don't say any of the teams that don't just go by Villanova players. New York.
I grew up a Kobe fan, so I always got a certain love for the Lakers. No question.
You seem like you're a really big LeBron fan.
Yeah, no. Bron is, because I was able to witness his whole career. So to be able to witness Kobe's career and then to witness LeBron's career is just like, I felt like I was able to watch two of the three best basketball players to ever play, ever. Like, I was able to grow up and watch them in their prime, and I'll never take that for granted. Sure.
Everybody's favorite question. We're talking about Kobe and LeBron. So, all-time starting five right now.
All-time starting five. Do I have to go by position, or I can just say who I want?
If you were to draft a team, you can go by who you want. All right.
So if I had to all-time starting five. See, the all-time starting five isn't the best starting five. So we got to make that disclaimer. That got to be thrown out there. That got to be thrown out there. So I'm definitely going to take Bron at the one. I'm going to put Bron at point guard. And then definitely Kobe and Jordan on the wing. Just like scoring gonna go crazy, and they gonna play defense. That's what people gonna forget about Kobe and Jordan is they locking up on the wing too. And then center is Shaquille O'Neal. I never seen nothing like him. He unreal. So LA Shaq for sure in the post. And then my four, man, what am I gonna have at the four? See, the four position tough.
That kind of like rounds it out.
Huh?
Rounds your team out. You gotta make a good decision.
I know. This one right here. See, the four man gotta be. It can be somebody that can do a little bit of everything. That can play inside, out. Gotta be a tweener. Who I want at the four? Uh, I'd probably go KD at the four. Yeah.
That's your
I I would probably go K. That'll probably be my five with Steph knocking on the door. Like I'm trying to get somebody spot.
spotted shooter Steph. So they won. Steph won championship last year. Do you have anybody coming out of the East and the West? I'm not gonna say championship prediction, but East and the West, who you got coming out for the finals?
Who I got coming out the East? I don't want to say the Celtics again, but it's looking like they probably gonna be the team to come out the East again, just because they either the Celtics or the Sixers. Just because I think Joel Embiid is unreal.
Yeah. I feel like after All-Star break for the Sixers, we got to see them get hot at the right time too.
Yeah, I need my man. See, I'm a big time James Harden guy.
Uh-huh.
I think James Harden get a bad rap about like, oh, he didn't play well in the playoffs, and I'm just thinking to myself like, who was he supposed to beat in Houston? Like, what teams was he supposed to beat? He
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to beat the Warriors,
Mm-mm.
and he wasn't supposed to beat the Spurs, the two teams that they say he collapsed against. Like, he was out there with Trevor Ariza and PJ Tucker, like, and Clint Capella,
Hey,
and him getting
hey,
50.
that's my center now. You can't do not too much.
See, hold on. But where the Hawks at in the East standings right now? Yeah, that's my point. That's what I'm saying. So I want to see the Sixers. So I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna take the Sixers coming out the East.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Sixers. And then as far as the West, um, I do like the Grizzlies, but I don't think they're gonna come out the West. But I do like Ja now. I think that I like Ja and them because they don't really care about nobody else in front of them. And like when you hooping, like when you playing ball, like when you really in that, that's how you gotta really think. And it's gonna be delusional. It's gonna look crazy to everybody else. But that's why you in that position and they not.
Here's
Because you
coming.
think like that.
Years coming for the Grizzlies, and honestly, I'm gonna say the Thunder too. I feel like both of those teams are kind of missing that one thing. I feel like both of them just
I'm
need
a
that
big
one
Shea
thing.
fan.
I'm a big
Big
Shea
Shea.
fan too.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Atlanta, but I'm a big Shea fan. I've been saying that for the past couple years. But
You know skill hoopers when you
yeah,
see them. That's what I'm talking about right
it's
there. You know the
random
game.
too. I was just like, you know what? I really like him, but I feel like for the Thunder and the Grizzlies, I feel like it's one piece that they're just missing. That
Right.
turn it around. Because for the Grizzlies, they can get far in the playoffs again, but I don't see them going to the finals, not yet.
Nah, I don't see them come out of the finals, but I do like them. But if I had to pick a team to come out the West right now, um, I mean it's got to be Phoenix.
Really? Oh yeah, because KD just went there. We
Yeah,
haven't seen him
KD,
so
Chris
that
Paul,
yet.
Devin Booker. Like I feel like anybody that like, I feel like that's the answer right now until they show us that they're not.
I know some people that have gone wrong with that.
It's just, I
I don't
mean, they
know. I feel like trading McHale and Cam Johnson kind of made them lose a little bit of depth on their bench.
oh, they definitely lost some depth. Like, can't even sit here and say that they didn't.
Mhm.
But I think the starters will make up for that, or they should.
Yeah, I shouldn't, but we'll see.
They should.
Playoffs is an interesting time. Everything changes in the playoffs. It's like a whole new season.
Yeah, different ball game for sure.
Um, talked about Shay. So, who are some of your just favorites in general in the NBA right now?
Man. So I said Ja. I like Ja game for sure. I like Ja game, and I more so like his attitude and his game. I feel like I'm rocking with both of them. Obviously Steph. I'm rocking with the shooters, Steph and Clay. I like Kyrie. But let me see some underground. Obviously, I'm rocking with my Nova guys too. I'm with Jalen, Josh, Mikhail. Like they've been going crazy.
Dante
Sadiq
on
on
the Warriors.
Dante, yeah, Chenzo on the Warriors. Like dudes been going crazy. So, but some dudes that I like, I love Luca like that. I gotta throw that out there. Luca should have been on the
LV's
top.
different.
Hey, listen, I'm one of them guys that's dying on the hill that Luca should have been on the top 75 list a couple years ago. Like I'm a firm believer in that. Like he better than a lot of them dudes on that list.
They're probably waiting for a championship. He gonna get one, but they
For
probably
sure.
waiting for a championship to put him on there.
I like my man. What's my man that's been going crazy in Brooklyn? Cam. Oh man, the young dude that's been going crazy since they got traded.
Oh,
Is it Thomas?
Cam Thomas, yes.
I like his game for sure. He definitely gets to it. I like Paolo down in Orlando.
You're rocking with the guards, I can tell.
Nah,
You
yeah,
said a lot of guards.
I'm rocking real heavy with guys that are skillful. Pass, dribble, shoot at an extreme high level. That's just the game, and you can tell people that work on their craft. So I'm always a big fan of that. Trying to see if it's any more. I'm probably forgetting some people. I'm rocking with Zion, Dame Dollar. Yeah, man. The league is definitely in good hands, for sure.
I feel like, how do you feel about it? Seems like there's a turning, it's beginning to turn into that young, we're starting to face the new players.
Yeah.
Away from the LeBrons, turning away from KDs, we turning towards some new players. How do you feel about that?
I mean, that's how the world works. It's that new crop. It's their time, and there ain't nothing like you can't try to prolong it. You can't try to push it. Like it's their time. Like Luca and Ja and Tatum and all them dudes, like they here, and they gonna be here for the next 10 years.
It's time. I
15
feel like we're
years.
gonna see it this year too. Like it's time now.
Yeah, it's their time.
So you're going to Venezuela soon. So what excites you about playing overseas?
Honestly, man, just to get back to playing basketball, the best job in the world, like obviously, is playing basketball in my eyes. I don't feel like nothing can match that. To get paid to do what you've been doing since you was, 7 years old. So, but I'm definitely just the culture to meet new people, to see a new way of living. This would be my first time there. I've been a lot of places, so this would actually be my first time there. So just to see something new. Been at this basketball thing for a minute now. To see something new is definitely rare. So I'm excited for that. To see the culture, the people, the atmosphere around the basketball, to see how much they love it compared to how we love it here. Just think the entire experience, the food, just everything.
What I picked up on is that you stay positive about everything. So through your injuries, you've caught a couple of strays, but what has been your mindset to keep you going?
Man, that's a big time question. Honestly, what I learned here in college about having a good attitude, I was forced to put it to work earlier than I thought I would have. But nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. Coach Wright used to say this thing to us. It was the 80-20 rule. It was like, you never tell the people in the world your problems, because 80% of them don't care, and the other 20% are happy that you have them. So I just never felt sorry for myself. Every day I tried to get up and put one foot in front of the other, no matter what that looked like for me at the time. And everybody has a different race, and everybody goes through different things at different times. So just having a positive attitude and remembering whatever you can control, you just make sure that you do it. And then that way you can have no regrets. I got no regrets. I live a good life. Like a lot of people would love to be Kris Jenkins. So I'm going to be the best at it that I can be.
Definitely when you hit that shot, a whole lot of people is like, what if I did that? What if I did
Right.
that? Seems like Coach Wright dropped a couple of gems. I was watching another interview with him back in 2020, and he had also talked about how it kind of went in slow motion. Was that whole thing? I also watched your interview with CBS. I think you said that you had no idea how to react. You weren't thinking nothing after you retired because you ended up staying up till 7 a.m. So did that moment also kind of just go into slow motion? And then right after, it was just kind of like full speed?
Crazy. That moment, it definitely wasn't slow motion.
Not slow motion.
It definitely wasn't slow motion. But it did slow down. And then when I came to my senses, I came to one. I was at the end of the pile at the bottom of the celebration. So there was like a little blur in there. There was some times where things were like moving a little slower for sure.
Was it your teammates getting off of you after they tackled?
Yeah, man. And I'm pretty sure they heard me yelling at them too, like, bro, I don't get off me, man.
I was like, I can't imagine my happiness just being taken away by being collapsed.
No, I was definitely telling them to get off me, bro. No question.
So advice to actually, I was gonna say young Coopers. Of course, everybody has their stride, everybody has their story, their path, but towards anybody, what's just your Kris Jenkins advice?
That's a good one. Honestly, man, to always just believe in yourself. I will always probably tell whoever I'm talking to just believe in themselves, because that's definitely a good portion of the battle. Just believing in your ability, because there's always going to be people that try to tell you what you can't do. I mean, we see it in the draft process. There's people that get paid to tell people why not to draft this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So always believe in your ability. Definitely, you got to put the work in, because people ask me all the time about confidence, and your confidence always comes from you preparing yourself and putting the work in. That's the only thing that can get rid of nerves, is your preparation. And just always be yourself. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, just always be you. That'll always win in my book. Just being yourself.
Okay. That was some Kris Jenkins advice. Anybody watching this, you better take that and run with it. So thank you so much for